Hello, dear students. This is my third lecture for the topic of transportation problem, identifying initial basic feasible solution. So we will be moving to our third method, Vogel's approximation method or VAM method. Okay, guys. Basically, in northwest corner method, we had selected the position wise. We had done position wise or location wise. In least cost method, we had selected the least cost. Okay, and whenever you are reviewing next transportation table, again we will seeking for the lowest cost and we are allocating to those particular problem. Okay, now this particular approximation method is based on the penalty means, if you remember, in decision making theory I had explained you regret matrix, पेनल्टी मैट्रिक्स, हमें पेनल्टी मैट्रिक्स निकालनी है. ओके, व्हाट डू मैं पेनल्टी देन इफ यू आर कंसीडरिंग द best alternative and instead of selecting that best alternative, if you are selecting the lowest best alternative, so there is a penalty for you. You are paying, you might be paying extra or you might be earning lesser profit, okay, by taking the least possible least benefit alternative. For example, if you want to reach from Jollygrant to Dehradun, you can go by bus, which cost you around 40 rupees. Let's take an example, or you can hire a taxi also, which costs you 600 rupees minimum. So how much you are paying extra by going to taxi? 550 rupees. That 550 rupees is an extra cost for you, or it is a penalty for you. Okay, similarly here also you can go within 40 rupees also, but you had selected 600 rupees, so you are paying extra. Similarly here the logic is same. Okay, let's take an example, P3 to D2. If you go, the least cost is 2 rupees. Okay, you can go by 2 rupees if you through D2 का अगर कुछ भेजना है तो. Either you can send units from P2 to D2, but it will cost you 9 rupees. How much extra? 4 rupees extra. Okay, guys. I'll take an example, P4 to D2. We are sending from P4 to D2. It costs 7. So we will pay extra 5 rupees. If you are not selecting this, but selecting this. Okay. So that particular extra cost is penalty. So what our basic objective here of this method is to minimize penalties as much as possible. Okay, guys. So let's move. So what we'll do, this is a particular table you already know, but additional to this table we will require more rows and columns where we will calculate the penalties. Okay, since we have to allocate at least 5 to 6 allocations, so we'll require at least 5 columns. 1 2 3 4 5 columns. From here 1 2 3 4 5 rows to identify the penalties for each allocations. Okay, guys, it's very simple, but it's a lengthy process. Let's start. Okay, this is our VAM method. So first of all we have to determine the row penalties and column penalties. रो पेनल्टीज मतलब P1 अगर किसी को भेज रहा है कम से कम कॉस्ट में, लाइक 5. और स्टॉप कर दो. Okay, sorry guys for interruption. So let's start again. So we have to calculate penalties for the each row and for each column. So what is a penalty? Basically, as I said you, we have to select the least cost cell or least cost from each row. Okay, let's for example for this P3 row least cost is 2. Instead of this route, if you are selecting next highest route, next cost highest route, they are like 2 के 2 से बड़ा कौन है 5. If you instead of 2, if you are selecting this route, you will pay 3 rupees more. Similarly, if you go by D2, okay, for D2 the minimum is 2. Okay, instead of 2, next highest is 5. Okay, so we will pay extra 3 rupees. विल नॉट सर्च फॉर, अगर यहाँ पे नहीं हो पाया तो यहाँ पे करेंगे, यहाँ पे भी नहीं हो पाया तो नेक्स्ट हाईएस्ट विल बी 7, यहाँ पे भी allocation नहीं हो पाया तो नेक्स्ट हाईएस्ट इज 9. So this way we have to find out the penalties one by one. So let's calculate. Okay, so let's start with the VAM method. As I had explained you previously that penalties, we have to calculate penalties. Okay guys, so row penalties and column penalties. Okay, so what is the penalty? Penalty is the difference between the lowest and the next highest cost. For example, for D2 the lowest cost is 2. If this route is not available, then next highest is 5, and if this cost is not available, this route is not available, next highest is 7. So have you understood the logic behind this? Okay guys, let's start with D1. So in P1, row wise we have to calculate row wise. If you see, the minimum cost is 5 at the two routes, for the two routes. So if you select this route, if it is not available, the next route is 5. So the penalty is 0. Penalty here is 0. For P2, the lowest cost is 3 and next highest is 7. The difference is 4. So you have to pay. If 3 is not, this route is not available, instead of this route, we will move to this route, but it will cost you more, 4 rupees. For P3, lowest is 2, next highest is 5, the difference is 3. For P4, lowest is 4, next highest is 6, the difference between 2 is 2. Okay, similarly we will calculate penalties for columns. Okay, for D1 the lowest cost is 4, next highest available cost is 3, next highest is 4, the difference is 1. For D2 the lowest is 2 and next highest is 5, the difference is 3. For D3 the lowest is 5, next highest is 6, the difference is 1. We have calculated the row penalties and column penalties. Now our next step is, sub-step is to identify as the highest penalty among these both penalties. Okay, if you see 1310432, the highest penalty among these all 7 members are, penalties is 4. So this is my first highest penalty. So you have to reduce this penalty first. So what we'll do, we will select this particular row, highest penalty row first to allocate. But where to allocate then? In this highest penalty row, select the lowest cost cell. Which is the lowest cost cell here? 3. 3 is the lowest cost cell. So we will allocate here first. So 3. Okay guys. So 3 is our first allocation here. This is our first allocation. P2 can give 110 and D1 requires 120. The minimum of both is 110. So we will allocate 110 units here. Then we will update the supply capacity and requirement of the destination. Out of 110, 110 has been transported, so nothing is left with P2. Out of 120 demand which was required by D1, 110 is satisfied, remaining is 10. Okay, yes, now we will eliminate that row whose supply is exhausted or whose demand is satisfied. In this case, P2 source supply is exhausted. We will eliminate this particular player. So just we will cut the cost of the particular row. Okay, so now onwards, since we are not considering this, it is not required to calculate penalties for this particular problem. So I will do cross sign on this particular row. Again, we have to calculate the penalties. Okay, we have to do at least 4 to 5 times. So for P1 there is no change in the cost, so the penalty will remain same. For P3, lowest is 2, next highest is 5, the difference is 3, penalty remains same. Here penalty remains same, 4 minus or 6 minus 4, 2. But D1, D2, D3, one cost has been removed, eliminated. So the penalty can change, penalty will change here. So for D1 the lowest cost is 4, next highest is 5. So the difference is 1. For D2 lowest is 2, next highest is 5, the difference is 3. For D3 lowest is 5, next highest is 6, difference is 1. So from this particular penalties, from these 3 penalties, we have to select highest penalty row or column. So this one is the highest one and this was also is highest one. Okay guys, so you can select anyone, select please anyone, or there is, if there is a tie between penalties, select that cell or that row which have the lowest cost. Okay guys, so in this case the D2, if you select D2 due to high penalty, the lowest cost is 2. If you select P3 for due to highest penalty, the lowest cost is 2. So both are same, therefore there is no choice for us. We have to select this only. So let's assume we are selecting this. We are selecting D2 has highest column, highest penalty column. In this highest penalty column, lowest cost is 2. Okay, so there our second allocation is here. How much will you allocate? P3 can give 150, D2 requires 180. Minimum of the both is 150. We have allocated units. I will update the supply and demand. So P3 have been capacity of 150, but it is transporting 150, so nothing is left, so zero capacity. D2 was requiring 180, out of which 150 has been satisfied. Remaining unsatisfied demand is 30. Okay guys, now move forward. As if you see the supply of this particular row has been exhausted, we will take out this element, we will eliminate this row. Okay, and we will not calculate the penalty cost, penalties. Once again for the third round we have to calculate the penalty. Okay, since row for P1 the cost has not been changed, the penalty will remain same. For P4 also penalty will remain same. But for D1 cost has been eliminated. Therefore the cost for D1 the minimum is 4, next highest is 6, difference is 2. For D2 lowest is 5, next highest is 7, difference is 2. For D3 5 and 6, difference is 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out of this 5 you have to select highest penalty row or column. If you see there is a tie between the 3 penalties, 2, 2 and this 2. Okay, once again we will select that cell or that row or that column which have lowest cost. If you see, if you select D1 the lowest is 4, if you select D2 the lowest is 5, and if you select P4 the lowest is 4. So among these two options the lowest is 4. So our third allocation should be here. We will select this. Okay, remember this guys, repeat this particular step once again or rewind this particular step once again. Okay, go back for 20 or 30 seconds back. So we will allocate here. P4 can give 100 units, D1 requires 10 units. So minimum among both is 10. We will update a demand and supply. 10 given 0. Here out of 100 10 has been transported, so 90 is remaining. So which has been satisfied? The demand of D1 has been satisfied. So remove this particular cost. Okay guys, so move forward. Now only remaining this, therefore we will not require to calculate the penalty of D1. So D2, D3, P1 and P4. There has been change between the cost, therefore you have to really calculate the penalties. So for P1 the difference is 0. For P4 the difference is 1. For D2 the difference is 2. For D3 the difference is 1. The highest penalty is here 2. For which column? D2 column. So in D2 column, which is the lowest cost? This is the lowest cost. So our fourth allocation will be at this particular cell. P1 can provide 90, D2 requires 30. Minimum amount these two is 30. Update supply and update the demand. So remaining 9 out of 90, 30 has been transported, 60 is remaining. Out of 30, 30 has been received. So demand is satisfied. We will remove this D2, we will eliminate this D2 from the table. So cut the cost of D2. Now if you see, we will not calculate penalty for this D2 onwards. Now the penalty for P1 is 5, for P4 is 6, for D3 it is 5 minus 5, 6, the difference is 1. The highest penalty is 6. So we will select this particular row. How much P4 can provide? 90. How much D3 requires? 150. Okay guys, so minimum is 90. This is my fifth allocation. So it will be 0, it will be 60. Since supply is exhausted, we will cut the particular supplier. The remaining only one cell whose P1 can supply 60, D3 requires 60. So it is SAM, so we will transport 60, we will allocate 60, and this is 0. Every supply, every capacity is 0, every demand is satisfied. So here we got an initial basic feasible solution by VAM method. Then what will be the cost? Cost of VAM, same. We have to multiply cost into units allocated and add all the allocations. So the cost will be like this: 5 into 30 plus 5 into 60 plus 3 into 110 plus 2 into 150 plus 4 into 10 plus 6 into 90. The cost range comes around, I think so, 660 or 630. Okay, so here we got the VAM. Okay, note for the while submission of the assignment. Okay guys, if you see in notes, I had provided summarized table step by step, how which cell you had selected, why you had selected, how much amount you will be allocating to that particular cell, and which player or source or the destination will be eliminated. Okay guys, what will the updated demand? Everything has been summarized in particular table for each method, for LCM least cost method, for west corner method, and for VAM method. So what I expect you while submitting the assignment, okay, this will be thing we will be submitting. This will be the way you will be submitting. Yes, true. But along with this, I will require that summarized table. You don't have to write these steps. You don't have to write these steps, but please provide me that summarized table. Okay, in notes I had provided for below this such table, there is always an summarized table which will explain you why which is the highest penalty, which row has been selected, which cell has been selected, how much amount has been allocated. So I expect all those things from you guys. Till now it was the experience was good. You people are doing very great. And one more thing, if it is possible, if you are taking pictures of your assignment, download some app through which you can convert those photos in a single PDF format. Okay guys, so that it will be easy to check the assignments. You are doing really great. Don't waste your time. Okay, use your valuable time. Take time to understand this particular subject. In examination, I will require similar things which I am giving you for assignment. Okay guys, okay, at the end of the topic I will provide you 2 to 3 problems to solve by this particular method. Okay guys, till then, thank you very much.